It's Monday night, and it's just barely after 7 o'clock, and this is Knightline Live, brought to you by Astro Industries. I'm Jerry Middleton. Along with me, as usual, is Rick Fletcher. And Rick, I know spring is in the air because baseball has reported to Arizona and Florida.
Yeah, I think all the teams have reported pitchers and catchers. So this is you're looking. It's cold out. We had a snowstorm this weekend, but looking forward to spring. And what is that? March Madness in Indiana means what, Jerry?
It's boys sectional basketball
Boys
time.
sectional. So we're going to talk a lot about boys basketball tonight because Brent Ross is going to be on the set here tonight. We'll get a chance to talk to him. We might try to count up the victories he has. I've heard a couple numbers here. See if he knows. I'm not sure if he does.
think it's around 1,100.
It's a lot. Yeah. It's quite a few. He's got, maybe a little ways to go, but he's got a lot. So Brent's going to be here. We're going to be talking to him. We'll kind of break down the season a little bit. They're almost done with the regular season. They've got one more game tomorrow night against Carnersville, that annual game that we play them. So we'll talk to Brent about the season and what's ahead for sectionals and that type of thing. The draw was yesterday, and Knights, I thought they had a pretty good draw, but we're gonna break it down here. What else are we talking about?
Well, we're talking state finals wrestling results.
Yeah. Whereas a couple weeks ago things were all happening at one time.
Yes.
Right now we're in a little bit of a lull, but. We did have a wrestler at the state finals, and we're gonna break that down. And I've got some interesting tidbits to tell you about wrestling, Jerry, when we get to that. So
a little archery today too.
Well, archery, they had a meet on Saturday. I do have the results here. Now, what people need to understand, they have state meets, which leads to a national meet. And if they want to go that far, it leads to a world meet, okay? But their state finals comes up at the fairgrounds in Indianapolis.
Yep.
And that's going to be March 9th, so not that far away.
Wow.
Just a couple weeks away.
Yep.
So good luck to those folks. So the high school and the middle school, they do both at once. But the high school won their meet. I think it was a home meet on Saturday. They were all here. The teams here, they had quite a few teams. Union City, Union County, Union Modoc was here, and Winchester. So that's 5 teams if my math is correct. And they won with a score of 31-62. To me, I don't know what that means, but it's the biggest score on the day. So
I don't know how many archers, shooters that they had there. What the potential perfect score would be on that.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out. But I do know for an individual archer, the perfect score is 300.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go over some results. For the girls, Cheyenne Booker, she shot a 278. All right, that's out of 300. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
A lot of bullseyes in there, I'm guessing. Hit the middle of the target. Ariana Johnson, 271, so not too far behind.
Yeah.
And Bailey Berhalter, 267. So, good day for the Knights as they prepare. They practice a couple times a week, so they'll be doing that and preparing for their state finals on March 9th. For the boys, Joseph Bennett shot a 278.
Wow.
And so congratulations to all the archers. I've said this before, the coaches, Brian and his coaching team, they run a great program.
Absolutely.
They really do a good job. They get a lot of kids, about 60 or so between high school and middle school. That's a lot of kids. And they have a lot of fun. And they're looking forward. Now, when we had the archers on a couple of weeks ago, they love doing that. So
they had fun. Yeah,
so
they had a good time.
So congratulations to them, and on they go toward that state final. What else we got going on, Jerry? All right, we probably ought to have a little preview of what's ahead for us because spring is right around the corner. Now, people know, we all know here, but
You sound like Ross Perot now. You know, we all know.
well, we all know, or at least you and I know, and the people that work with us, we're internet dependent.
Yes.
And not a lot of schools have outdoor internet.
Well, a lot of them don't have internet in their gyms.
Well, but outdoor is the
Yes.
most problematic. Most schools we go to have Wi-Fi
Yeah.
now, okay? But not a lot of schools have a good internet connection at their outdoor football, baseball, softball,
Yeah.
okay? Now here we have high-speed internet at the baseball field.
Yep.
So we're able to broadcast baseball games.
Yep.
All right. Sectionals this year for baseball are going to be in Shenandoah.
Yep.
We're anticipating no Wi-Fi
Yeah,
connection.
There's none there.
And where Shenandoah is located, even if you have your own portable
Yeah.
Wi-Fi, probably not going to get a very good connection.
No.
So we don't know.
If we can't bring a quality product,
Yeah.
we don't want to do it.
Yeah, because we don't want just a terrible looking
Yeah.
video. So, anyways, but we will have some baseball.
We will have some
games.
baseball this year,
Um,
and if softball gets their internet down there, we'll have some softball also, and then maybe the night invite.
Yeah, we'd like to do a track meet,
Yeah.
and the night invite is here. We have great internet connections
Yep.
at the football field, so there's a real possibility. And plus, we got several cameras,
Yeah.
so there's a good possibility that we can do that. That'll be the first time we've ever done track, so it'll be a learning experience for us. We don't know what we're doing. We have to
Yep.
figure out how to do that. But Jerry, my guess is we'll figure it out.
Figure it out. We always do.
And so, if the first time is an experience, just like baseball last year, our first time was a total disaster, but we got it figured out, and we finally were able to do
Yeah.
a good job. And that's how these things work. The other thing might be is a potential, or at least we're working on the potential of doing sectional softball down at Union County.
Yep.
We have some inside connections over there, or we like to think that they're inside
Yeah.
connections that we could potentially get a good high-speed internet connection at their softball field. So we could hopefully do that. So we'll see. These are things that are in the works.
Well, and then, as far as our next broadcast coming up, obviously next Monday, we'll be back here with Knightline again. Not
Yeah.
sure who our special guest will be, but
well, we're working. We're efforting that. Right
we're
now.
looking
working on
at that. It can't be bigger than Brent Ross. I mean, that's about as big as it can get.
I tell you what, I had to work his agent hard on this one, Jerry. Get him in. It was tight negotiation.
Twisting the arms.
It was tight
But,
negotiation.
sectional, we'll talk that real quick about
Yeah.
broadcasting that. We're broadcasting all the sectional games
Every
from
game.
Hagerstown.
Yep.
Tuesday night, I think that game's at 7 o'clock, so
Yep.
we'll be on there about a quarter till. And Rick and myself will be on that ball game
Right.
at Shenandoah and Knightstown.
Right.
Then after that, I've got to head to Phoenix, which is killing me because it's probably cold out there.
Yeah, it's probably 82 degrees
Probably.
and sunny and no humidity.
So I got to head out there. So on Friday and Saturday's broadcast, it's Rick could be on and Dan Harney.
Yeah, Dan has agreed to be my broadcast partner for the weekend on Friday and Saturday night, and we've committed. No matter if the Knights go to the
Yep.
end or not, we're committed to do every single game, and that's kind of our commitment to all the other schools
Yep.
too. And we do our normal thing. We do our subway players of the game, and we bring them on. And I think the kids from the other schools get a lot of they get a kick out of that.
Yeah.
Because you always see their parents and their grandparents, videotaping,
Yeah.
and it's pretty cool to see.
Well,
So,
Rick, when you've made it on to Two Old Guys Productions / the Nice Broadcasting Network, you've hit the big time.
well, so we like to think.
Yeah.
So a lot happening. We got to thank our sponsors, Jerry.
Oh, yes.
Sometimes I think we don't mention them enough. There's too many to mention, but I really would like to thank all our sponsors because without you guys and the money that you're able to give us. We've got a lot of equipment, and we got a lot of money invested around here. You and I don't get paid. All right, we're all volunteer. All the adults, we don't get paid. We pay the students that work with us just a little bit. All right, not a whole lot, but just a little bit to try to get some help in here. And by the way, if you want to help, we've got plenty of opportunity.
Absolutely.
So you can learn how to run the computer, you can learn how to run a camera, and who knows, we might put you on a microphone. All right? I think we probably want to start doing a little bit of that.
Yeah, we want to start doing that
as we go down the road. But come on by, come see Jerry, go see Steve Luby. Who is everybody's favorite teacher, all right?
That's right.
So go see your favorite teacher, and come on down and help us out because we need the help. So there it is.
There it is. It's out there. Are we about ready for a commercial break?
I think we're ready to go to break.
So we're going to go to break here, and we'll be back with basketball coach Brent Ross, and I can get the spotlights out here and grill him, put him under the heat lamp. You're watching Knightline Live. At Kate's Family Eye Care, we value a family-friendly atmosphere, offering high-quality eye exams. Our expert staff utilizes the latest techniques in eye care. We have a large selection of affordable glasses that are unique to our area. We are proud supporters of the Northeastern Knights and wish all the teams the best of luck.
Go Knights!
13,000 feet has a way of testing a man's soul. After all, you were never meant to take on such an endeavor. That long drop is what separates human from superhuman. That fear is the only enemy, the only thing keeping you from feeling that power in your bones. And here we are, right here, right now. Let's fly.
You're good at motivation, we're good at your insurance. Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and stop knocking on wood.
We would love to invite you to LifeSpring Students, our youth group at LifeSpring Church that is just south of Northeastern on 27. We meet from 7 to 8:30 on most Thursdays, but the doors open at 6:30. You can grab some pizza or a snack from our cafe and then hang out with your friends until 7 p.m. We have basketball, dodgeball, gaga ball, and other activities for you to enjoy. At 7, our student band leads us in some worship through music, and we have a lesson from God's Word, the Bible. We then split into small groups based on grade and gender to apply what we have learned and pray with one another. After small group, students are invited to hang out until 9 p.m. when we close. LifeSpring Students is a great way to get to know God and meet some new friends. It is open for any student in grades 6 through 12, and we would love to invite you. Find out more at lifespring.tv/students.
KOA exit 151A, registration and the general store. It's a family-owned campground with pull-through parking for RVs or travel trailers with full hookups. Rent a cabin. Relax at one of the fire pits or picnic by the pond. A playground for the kids, or get in around the golf before dinner. Take a water-soaking hayride, lay out by the pool, and then take a dip.
Do you have a big event coming up soon? Dejo Photos has you covered. Check us out on Facebook. We are professional photographers who strive to capture all of your special moments, such as family portraits, senior photos, live action sports, graduations, and so much more. If you don't think photos are important, wait until they are all you have left. Contact us via email at info@dejophotos.com or call us at 765-277-0047. Dejo Photos, capturing memories one photo at a time.
Welcome back to Knightline Live, presented by Astro Industries. I'm Jerry Middleton. With me as usual is Rick Fletcher and our special guest in the house, head basketball coach Brent Ross. Brent, thanks for joining us.
Hey, it's always a pleasure to be invited.
Well, I think Brent's got a new first name, isn't it? Legendary.
Legendary.
Brent Ross. He's headed into that territory. I think when you hit the 300 win mark, Brent, then we're going to have to attach that. But hey, I want to congratulate you. You're on a run, okay, of seasons, 15 win seasons, a lot of success. Just overall, Brent, what do you attribute to that success to?
I think a lot of it's stability. I mean, we've had stability from the start. You guys have had me on here before. As soon as I took the program over, Chris Curtis was our freshman coach. I went straight to him, asked him and Vanessa to take over our elementary program. They've been with me ever since. They do exactly what we ask. We want to play every kid, 2 quarters, teach fundamentals, let them have fun. The success factor at elementary, we're not, I know that upsets some parents, but it's not what it's about at that level.
Right.
It's, we want it, of course, but it's about developing those kids and letting them enjoy the game of basketball and what it's about. And then, I went straight to Dave Baker, and me coaching at IU East before I came here and playing in college, I brought the college system here. I mean, we have a sports information director. We're probably one of the few 2A schools that has a sports information director
Right.
that does all the media stuff, stats, all that. Like we played Winchester Friday. You go on Max Preps. I feel sorry for their kids. There's no stats whatsoever for any colleges, high schools, nothing. Ours is uploaded an hour after the game. And you can look it up.
We rely on those stats because I print them out before every game that we broadcast. So
yeah,
I
exactly.
rely
And
on
I know they understand that. I know some coaches think that because you don't put those stats on there that it might be, you're giving something away or whatever else. But at the end of the day, with huddle assist and all that's out there, we'll know who can shoot, who can't shoot, who can dribble left-handed, who can dribble right, whatever.
This is the modern world right now.
Yeah.
Games are live streamed.
Yes.
And I mean, there are no secrets anymore.
No, there's not. There really isn't. But, brought Dave Baker in, and then, of course, our coaching staff, Tyler Moore, the legend, the family on the
Right,
gym.
yeah.
And, he's been with me ever since. And like I said, we've had a lot of stability and brought in, Coach Maurer. And, of course, Coach Beatty's, I think, 11 years on off. And then Coach Everman has been with me on 2 different occasions and was a head coach. And, I really believe that our coaches, they have their specialties at everything. And, I get the credit for the wins, but I can't do it by myself. I mean, but I also get the blame for the losses too. So, at the end of the day, it's just a great group, and the kids have bought in. We had a long talk today. They were disappointed after Friday.
Sure.
And but I told them they've had a great season. They've won 15 games so far. Like you said, again, they're 30-2. The seniors over their career in conference games. We finished second.
Yeah.
And for us to be upset finishing second and second in the county and is a good thing. That means that's the expectation that this program is built. I said a lot of programs would love to finish second. Probably the ones that finish 3rd through 8.
Well, let's do this,
yeah.
Brent. Let's do this. I want to talk about this year's team.
Okay.
Let's set the stage as you were coming into this year. You had 5 starting seniors, and out the door they went last year. So you had a whole new starting lineup. That for a lot of schools, that's a death knell almost. But it seems like with your team, Brent, you really didn't miss a beat. Actually, I thought maybe a little bit better in some areas. So talk about the players that you have here now, and
we wonder. I mean, June's big for us every year,
Right.
and one of the things we do a little bit different as well is we have our banquet. A lot of times I'll talk to the kids, but I don't see the kids much. We don't do spring workouts. We don't do all that stuff. We want our kids to play baseball. You're talking
Right.
about baseball,
Yeah.
track, golf, and the ones that play AAU, the 2 months ain't going to make or break what kind of season they have. And then June, we get after it pretty hard. We go
Right.
early in the morning, 6:30, 2 or 3 times a week. We play about 25, 30 games. And then when June's done, I don't see them again until the first week of October, which is tennis and cross-country sectional week.
Yeah.
Right.
And so that way we get those kids back. And, or the ones that move on. Of course, we don't want them, the cross-country. The thing about our sports programs right now, it's really good and it just seems to work. But, we play, our system. It drives people crazy sometimes with how we rotate and sub. but we always play 8, 10 kids. So even if you graduate 5 kids, there's 5 kids that's played.
Right.
Yeah.
And even, Trey Van Lanningham was really, really sick. He hadn't been to school, in almost 2 weeks. We didn't have school Friday, but he was eligible to play Friday night. Kane, gave what he can. But even if Trey can't play the 2 spot, we rotate Logan Seal in that spot or Caleb Moore. They're sophomores, but maybe they're not as good as Trey at the time, but they know the system, they know the role, and maybe maybe they are that night. You don't know. So that's kind of how the system works.
Let me ask you about Trey. All right, let's get into some specifics here. I'm going to give you my opinion. You feel free to tell me whatever you want to say.
That's
all right.
fine.
Trey, as far as improving his game from his freshman year to this year, I think he's like the most improved during that stretch. In my humble opinion.
From June 1st, or I'll say, and I know I've talked to his mom a couple times, and if it's AAU or them pushing him or whatever it is, from June to the start of the season, I don't think I've ever seen a kid improve that much in that short a span.
Yeah.
Now, he's had the ability, obviously.
Right.
And then now he's putting the effort behind it
Yeah.
to expand his game. And if he continues to do that, I think you're going to see some really great glimpses of him next year. And, talking about our team, we're loaded with, I think, very talented sophomores and juniors. There's some things we got to get stronger at a lot of those positions, and get some strength. But there's some talent there. I mean, I expect us to have a really good year next year.
Yeah.
And I expect us to finish off this year. I mean, you're going to talk about it here in a minute, so I'll let you ask the questions. But, I mean, we're excited about what the next 2, 3, 4 weeks holds.
Well, we're excited too. Another guy I want to talk about is the littlest guy on the court, okay? I think he's become the leader of your team, and that's Landon Scaretti. Talk about Landon and what he means. No fear in this kid. Of course, he hasn't had fear ever, from the time he started as a freshman
Well,
to right now.
Landon's a gamer.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing about it is he seems to be ready every game. He's been fighting that flu the last 2 or 3 weeks, and we didn't know how much we'd have him at the try game, and I think he ends up with, I don't even know, 18, 20 points in that game, and he's a scoring point guard. So one of the things that I thought we needed, we had a pretty good start of the season with a really tough schedule.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we beat Muncie Central and Fort Wayne South and beat some really good teams early. We had to lead against Avon late in the third. The one game that I felt like that, and we had to lead with Delta late in that game, but the Greenfield Central game is the one that I really thought, and of course they're undefeated, so
Yeah.
they handled us pretty well. But he was not getting more than 1 or 2 assists, and so I told him his offense would open up. He should focus on trying to get 5 assists a game. With that, I don't want to take away his offensive mind. I mean, he's got to be a scoring point guard. I was a scoring point guard. You look to score first, and it's kind of a give and take. But man, he just continues to improve, and I think he's one that he puts on 8-10 pounds of muscle and some shoulders in the off season. I mean, I've talked to a couple smaller college coaches about him, and that's the one thing they keep saying, that they're not worried about his size.
Right.
Because he's a gamer, he can handle the ball, he's quick. Them Avon guards were very quick, and I was really impressed. He stayed in front of every one of them. I mean, he was sliding his feet, and you don't know how quick you are until you start playing some of the inner city schools, and he did a really good job in those games. And so the strengths, I think, his only lack. I think he'll work on that.
Yeah.
You mentioned some sickness going around, and Lincoln closed for a week, and and some different. This is that time of year where healthy is questionable.
Drink your orange juice,
And
get
so,
your vitamin C.
And sometimes your success is dependent upon how healthy that you are. Not the fact that you're injured, but I'll tell you what, you get the flu for a few days, it takes a few days to get over it.
Yes.
And to recover. And if you hit that at the wrong time, then it's not pretty.
Well, if you watch our system, we're 90 feet, 32 minutes. We wanted to press the whole night Friday night. And I bet we didn't press, out of 32 minutes, we were lucky maybe to press 10.
Yeah.
Just because, not because we didn't want to and we didn't call it, I don't think the kids could get that done. I mean, they were fighting for tooth and nail. Now, don't get me wrong, Winchester deserves the win. The Moore kid probably had, and I told him in the line that, he literally beat his by himself. He had one of the top 3 to 5 most one of the best individual games against one of our teams that I'd seen in a long time. I mean, he did it at both ends of the floor, and he willed his team to a win as a senior. I mean, I was impressed.
One more kid I'd like to, I'd love to talk about all of them, but Sam White, all right? When I say Sam White to you, what do you think? What do you got to tell us?
Probably the overall hardest worker that we have, as far as day in, day out, as far as always ready, cares for his teammates as much as the team. It's funny because we did something a little bit different. We actually had the kids, after Friday, put together their own scouting report on their self. And we met with them today before practice. This is kind of the part of regrouping for the sectional. I shouldn't be talking about our secrets or whatever, but we want to know that if they know what their weaknesses is. And some of the things that we do is we get scouting reports from other, being in coaching a long time, I got friends that we play against that we're not going to face the rest of the year. So they'll give me their scouting report on what they have for each individual player, and we'll give them theirs.
Okay.
And so what Coach Everman did is he kind of combined them together. And we had the players bring in theirs, so we had them act like they were Connorsville's coach today, and they had to tell us about Sam White. And he brought a paragraph. I mean, he had detailed down from his footwork to what he needs to work on. I mean, he's a young man that's a student of the game that just wants to get better, and he's another one that's, the ceiling is.
Yeah, I don't think he's reached his full potential yet.
He's going to be a hard to handle inside next year.
Yeah, but he's tough as nails,
Yes.
and he is another one he's come a long way since last year. I know he had an injury he was battling, and it was a pretty significant injury, but it looks like, Brent, that he's put that behind him mentally. And boy, he just comes out and he plays hard, 100%.
Coach Everman told him today, when you're off the floor and on the floor, we're two different teams.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
We need him on the floor.
And that showed early in the season when he was getting 2 fouls in the first 2 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
And I could see Coach Ross over there losing some hair on that. But that's a true statement.
Yeah.
Well, he seems to have overcome that.
Yes, he's
learns
gotten
how
smarter.
to play. Yeah,
Yes.
he gets smarter,
and
that's what it takes sometimes. Is you got to learn how to play aggressively without getting the fouls called on you.
Yeah.
And him, as you've gone through the season, it's been less and less of a problem with him. Not that it can't prop up, but you've done a good job of protecting him.
And that's where you get in the tournament. It takes some. Today was the first day that I really looked at our stats. Because I was sitting there and I was letting Coach Maurer and Coach Everman run the interviews with the players and their scouting reports and all that. And I was kind of sitting in the background with the stats and stuff. It's the first time I coach a lot off field. I coach a lot off, some of them I didn't know they were shooting as bad as they were, and some of them I didn't know they were shooting as good. I don't go home and say, oh man, he's shooting this. We need to do this or whatever. And but you get into the tournament, he's getting his second foul, your first foul. You got to know. Because it could change a game like that if I leave him out there too long. Or
absolutely.
There's a couple games I had him on the bench with one foul a lot in the first half because I knew in the second half I was going to need all 4.
Yeah.
And some like people are, why do you do that or whatever? But I don't know. It's going to be. That's why I said tournaments. That's what I love about college and high school basketball. It's one game. Anything can happen. There wouldn't be Sports Center if there weren't upsets.
So that's your way of keeping him in the ball game because you want him there at the end when it counts.
You got to have him on the floor late.
Yeah.
One of the things I find very interesting is how well that you and your staff adapt to the personnel that you have. Now, last year's personnel is a lot different than this year's personnel. But some people, coaches, it doesn't matter. It's this, and we don't deviate. You guys sort of evolve a little bit and evolve the players around to what you have. which is a great testament on the coaching of things. And I think it also helps bring the players around too.
Well, Caleb Moore's a perfect example.
That's who I was thinking of.
Here's a kid that if we played him as a 2-3 all season, he'd be playing JV all year. But he's a kid that can flat shoot it. We told him he was going to be an undersized. If he wanted to play, then he was going to have to beat out some of the other bigs, that are playing JV and varsity, and he was going to have to beat them out at the 4 or 5 position because that's what we had open. And, for a week or so in the summer, I'm not sure he enjoyed it a whole lot, but now he's kind of bought in. He's actually Sam sub. He's the rotation, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. He's in there for Sam, and he plays his heart out. And then he's undersized. I mean, we're giving up, 7-8 inches when we sub him for Sam.
And he plays 6'3", 6'4". He gets a rebound, uses his rear end, pushes him out a little bit, creates some space, gets the rebound, goes down, and then you can't leave him alone in the corner.
Or the top when he trails.
When he trails, that's just 3 points.
Yeah.
And that's just a whole different aspect to the game. But I just want to tell you guys, I think you do a great job with working with your personnel and not trying to say, this is the way it is.
Yeah, and you can't do that, especially at 2A basketball. I mean, you don't have 3,000 students. When Avon came over, I was looking up, I think they have 3,800 students.
Yeah, they got a lot to choose from.
They got, to put a team together of 10 kids is probably pretty easy.
Yeah, I'm sure.
He's got probably his own, I love Drew, so he's probably got some of his own difficulties that he battles with that kind of situation.
Yeah.
But, like you said, you play with what you have and develop what you can. And, you try to put the best system. Last year's group wasn't as much as a pressing group, wasn't as much offensive minded. But man, they could guard.
Yes.
They could flat guard, and they were together. They were a tight knit group. This group can flat score. And talking about the draw, if we can get through the first 2 games or whatever, then it may be a rematch with Park Heritage, which our kids won. It is. They shot 79% last year against us.
Yeah.
And won by 10.
Well, and you're talking explosive. I mean, explosive, because there's a lot of times where you guys put 10, 12, 13 points on the board in a minute.
Yeah.
And here's perimeter shooting, something we haven't seen from you guys for the probably last 2 or 3 years. Now this year you've got, I'm just off the top of my head, I'm thinking of 4 or 5 guys who at any point in time pop a 3 and do it efficiently.
Yeah, we've got, and that's why I was looking at the stats today.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got 5 guys or 6 guys that's shooting over 30% from 3.
Yeah.
That's like shooting 50% from 2.
Yeah.
One kid that's struggling just a little at times is Logan Seal, and I told him today, I said, I didn't even know, but I said, I want you to continue to shoot that open shot. I mean, because I've seen him make 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row in practice, and I mean, I told him, you believe in yourself, and you keep shooting the basketball when he's open. And
I was talking to Logan Seal's dad.
Yeah.
And he said, I was bored and wondered what you and Rick said about the 35-foot shot.
We had a few things to say.
And I went, and he said it was like, oh my, what was that? Like out there. And then he says, then I forget who it was stood up. I said, well, I know who he's going in for. And it was that. But the nice thing about that is when he came off, it was like the fatherly advice coming from you, Brent, about, hey, look.
He'd made 2 in a row. He was feeling it, or 2, through.
Yeah.
Well, at least those were inside 30 feet.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. And I asked him, I said, what are you doing? And but I guess, I hadn't seen him do that much on the JV or the other, but I guess he used to make that shot in junior high. So,
Yeah.
And the old come back, but that was a long shot. It wasn't at the time, and that was, and we were in a battle at that time.
Yeah.
I think that's another thing too, is this team's still trying to figure out when the right time to shoot it, when the right time to draw. I mean, the other night Day had a 3 in the corner, and I think it was a 2-point ball game or a 3-point ball game. And Day's percentage isn't where he would like it to be, but man, he's leading us in percentage getting to the backboard and finishing left and right-handed.
Yeah.
And he had the drive, but he settled for the 3, and I think there was like 4 minutes to go in the game. And I thought we settled the other night a little bit too much from the 3. Having a lead early in the 4th, we needed to make them play some defense. And that's where you're talking about a young team. We're still a young team. experience-wise in those kind of games, So-
Day's another guy. Now he comes off the bench normally, but he could just as easily be in the starting lineup. I mean, he plays as much as any starter as far as minutes go. Boy, he can really get to the basket, and he
Quick first step.
Yeah, quick, and he's athletic, and he gets up high, and so he's experienced a lot of success. All right, we had the draw yesterday. This is our most favorite time of the year, Brent. Right
I love
here,
it.
we're coming up next week. Number one, it's in Hagerstown. I think we're all happy to be back there. We like going to Hagerstown, Jerry, don't we?
Well, I do, except I have to go to Willie's and Red's, so I can't go to 1,000-degree pizza now.
Well, that's true.
But I can do that.
The folks down at Hagerstown do a great job.
Absolutely, they do.
And they got a nice facility for it, too.
Yeah.
So that's
And it's centralized.
centralized.
Union County's not driving an hour and 35 minutes
Yeah.
to go play a Tuesday night ball game at Shenandoah.
Right.
And it's always been at Hagerstown ever since it was class basketball up until we went to Shenandoah a couple years ago. And I mean, I understand Shenandoah's point of trying to get some revenue for their school and putting in for it, but I think it's always been kind of a gentleman's AD agreement that we leave it at Hagerstown. So I don't know, but hopefully we're putting in for it for the boys' side now as well, since everybody else is putting in for it. So,
Okay.
yeah, Jerry told me that'd be one of his last things, hopefully before he retires. So maybe we'll get it, maybe we won't. The IHSA makes those decisions, and we'll play wherever they send us.
Well,
And whoever we play against. Everybody's talking about this new classes and stuff, and I'm like, whatever sectional we're in, we're gonna go play.
Yeah. So it could be different next year.
It could be
but
different.
It is what it is, right?
All you got to do, you just go out and win games.
That's right.
That's all you got to do. It's simple.
In our sectional, if you look at the teams in our sectional, I think it's any given night, any team could knock off anybody else. Brent, what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, we're gonna have to scout both Knightstown and Shenandoah, because I think when we looked it up today, John Harold has them a 1-point difference between the two.
Right.
And so then you look at the Hagerstown Union County game, the other game before our game, and I think it was a 1.5-point difference. So those games can go either way, and you've seen what Union County on our senior night played very, very well, and
absolutely.
had every opportunity to beat us that night. And so it's one game at a time.
Yeah.
That's why we're refocusing for it right now. We're treating tomorrow night Tuesday night's usually the hardest practice of the week.
Yeah.
When you play on a Friday, we're treating tomorrow night like a very hard practice. We're going to go to Connorsville. We're going to focus on the things that we need to do. We talked about their personnel just a little, but it's more or less, I told the kids, JV varsity, we're going down there to play absolutely as hard as we can for, 3 hours, see if we can come away with 2 wins and come back and continue to roll for the sectional.
Yeah.
I mean, our whole focus right now is getting ready, getting healthy, learning how to block out better, doing the things that we need to do better over the next 2 weeks to have ourselves prepared and ready for that Friday night. And we probably had one of our best practices today. I mean, after we did all the stuff and then we got after it, we went after it for about an hour and 20 minutes, pretty hard. I treated it like a Monday, so I wasn't like saving legs or nothing like that. So
What they say that the game is 100% mental and 50% physical.
I always tell them that 75 at this time of year it's 75% mental and 25% physical, because at this point we're in shape.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been sick or whatever, and it's going to take a while
Yeah.
to get some of the breathing back. But we're in shape. I mean, we played enough basketball and ran enough that it's here.
Yeah.
And that's something this group struggled a little bit at times with.
Well, you tell the guy you played a difficult schedule to
Yeah.
prepare for this time of year. And hey, it's time to bring your A game, boys, from starting tomorrow night right on to the rest of the season, whenever that is. It's A game time. So let me ask you: you drew the bye the first night. What are your thoughts on drawing the bye? Would you rather play? Are you happy you got the bye? What are your thoughts?
If we were healthy, if we had been healthy and we were rolling right now, I'd want to play Tuesday. Okay, because I think that keeps you focused and the momentum goes. If you look at some of our sectional championships, we drew the hardest way. You look at last year, we drew the home team first, then we turned around and beat a Union County team that drew the bye, but played very well. If you remember, Luby had a game of his life. I don't know how many threes he hit. Then we had to turn around and play a Hagerstown team that was playing pretty well at the time.
They were.
And so we ended up able to get by that. So, we've had years where we've had to face the best all the way through in 3 games. But, this was one year that I think all of us coaches were like, just to get our group back together, regroup, get ourselves ready. You know, a little adversity when you finish. You know, they worked their tail off to put themselves in a position, and you know, I'm a big believer. You know, I like the movie Miracle. So you know, great moments come from great opportunity, and they worked their tail off to give themselves an opportunity to win the conference. And then when it doesn't happen, I knew they'd be down a little bit. And so, you know, adversity a little bit. You know, but the character today, the way they stepped up. I think we're going to be just fine for the sectional, but the bye is a good thing for us right now, I think. I really do.
Well, the beauty is everything's ahead of you now.
Yeah.
And all your goals, you know, the big goals, you know, obviously you didn't win the Wayne County tourney or the conference, but the big prize is still ahead of you.
Oh, yeah.
And,
I mean, it's what we've worked for since we lost that Park Heritage game last year. I mean, in their minds, you know, it's all come full circle one year, and, you know, we got – you know, I wanted that draw. Whether we can beat them or not, I don't know. Whether we can beat, you know, Shenandoah or Knightstown. Like you said, it's one game at a time. But you know, we like our opportunity. You know, to maybe have that opportunity. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, I love this time of year. It's what we work all year for. You know, I walked into practice today. You know, we were excited. I think. You know, the coaches were all excited. I don't know if the players knew what to think, you know. So, you know, they had their own draw yesterday. We always do it kind of as coaches, as you know, because you've worked that before and kind of put it together. And we were actually thinking about, you know, just because of the sickness, we kind of backed away from it. But the kids kind of got together. And Wes, you know, the senior Wes says, he was like, well, he told the players, we want to have some fun with it. You know, I don't know if the coaches let us have fun or not. So we're a little hard on them, I guess, at times, but it's good for them.
Well, it's good to get off by themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Brent, we could go on for another hour.
Oh, yeah.
We appreciate you coming by. Good luck. We're going to be there, right? So we'll see you guys Friday night. Probably see you Tuesday night, you know, for scouting.
Oh, we'll all be there, yeah.
So we'll look forward to that. We appreciate
and you. Like I said, I really appreciate you guys doing this. I mean, it's one of the, you know, my mom, who, like I said, just passed away. She loved watching you guys. I get people all the time that doesn't like when we play on the road and you guys aren't there. And, you know, we had some illnesses in our family, and we wasn't able to make it to the regional, you know, for the girls, and being able to watch that and stuff. I mean, what you guys do is a great thing. It's a great job.
Appreciate it.
It takes a lot of time and dedication.
Well, but it's fun, Brett.
Yeah, you're in it for the same reasons we're in it. We're in it because we love kids.
Coaching basketball takes a lot of time too, especially during. And I'm guessing if you figured out the hourly wage, you're not getting top dollar for it.
You know, somebody said, you know, I coached 1 year in Ohio, and you know, over there some have stipends, some don't.
Okay.
You know, because of how their money works. And somebody asked if they took away the stipends when we were in a money crunch there. I'd do it for free.
Sure.
You know, and actually we probably, like you said, we do it for free because we're always getting stuff for the kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so.
Yeah. All right. We got to take a break, Jerry. Brent, thanks for coming by. Hey, good luck.
Thanks for coming by. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll talk to you down the road, hopefully with a trophy in hand. Yeah.
I hope so.
All right.
That's the goal.
Well, you're watching Knightline Live, brought to you by Astro Industries. We'll be back after these messages on.
Coming together every day to make a difference for you, for me, and everyone in between. Because at Dot Foods, when we celebrate each other's differences and work together to make the community a better place, we become great together. At Dot Foods, what matters to you matters to us, where communities matter. Dot Foods.
Dreaming of having more space? With a mortgage from First Financial, you're golden. We keep things simple with friendly, personalized service from application to closing. We'll help you find the right mortgage loan to fit your unique needs. Plus, you can qualify for relationship pricing with an eligible checking account. And since we live in the communities we serve, you can count on our local knowledge to make sure the pieces fall into place for an on-time closing. So stop dreaming and start moving with First Financial Bank.
First! Harmon sheds are custom built to your specifications and needs. But wait, there's more! Harmon sheds build privacy fences, decks for your pool, beautifully designed decks for all around your home, and detached pavilions. Let Joe and the crew do all the work, so all you need to do is relax.
This is Rick Fletcher. When my car needs repair, I take it to 715 Simharjan Parkway in Richmond, home of Knuckle Busters. With their ASE certified technicians, why would you go anyplace else? They repair domestic and imports, air conditioners to Z-bars. Knuckle Busters Auto Repair. Call 765-488-1470 and tell them to go Knights!
Are you being bugged about your floral needs? The Leaning Lily, 927 South 9th, is a full-service florist with lots of great gift ideas like wind chimes, potted plants, hanging baskets, teddy bears, and much, much more. Convenient delivery available to residential, the hospital, and local funeral homes. The Leaning Lily has bouquets to say, I love you, to weddings to say, I do. The Leaning Lily, we have you covered.
Our first senior, Michael Henry III. Parents, Kelly and Joe Henry. Activities, basketball. Michael's future plans are to attend IU East and study business. Michael Henry. Our next senior, Nolan Drake. Parents, Dean and Bonnie Drake. Activities include cross-country, basketball, track, summer band, winter percussion, FFA, 4-H, National Honor Society, EIOA official, longboard club. Nolan's future plans are to attend Purdue to study agriculture and enjoy life. Nolan Drake. Wesley Hunt. Parents, Rebecca Hunt, Tori and Dina Hunt. Activities include basketball, sports, and farming. Wesley's plans to continue growing my current business and become an entrepreneur. Wesley Hunt.
Welcome back to Knightline Live, brought to you by Astro Industries. A little bit of a senior video there.
Yeah.
And so,
well, we had senior night at for the boys
Yeah.
for a lot of the teams, but so the boys basketball team was celebrated. So that's what you just saw. You came back, and that was our three seniors. That's Nolan Drake, Wes Hunt, and Michael Henry.
Yep.
And this will be their last run as a Northeastern Knight. So
Wow.
really looking great to have Brent on. We could go for 2 hours with
oh
Brent.
yeah, you get Brent rolling. We might talk for a while.
Yeah,
here
we almost had
about
to throw him
basketball.
out of here. But anyways, it's great to have Brent and talk about the state of his team. And they should be excited. I think, Jerry, they're probably going to be favored, all
Yeah.
right, if you look at it. But again, when I told Brent, I thought, gee, on any given night, any team could win.
That's right.
I think that's where you're at with this sectional. All right, let's shift gears here. Heather Kroll was at the state finals in Evansville. What an honor for her.
Yeah, absolutely.
She had a great run, in the postseason.
That's
there.
2 out of 3 years she's made it to the state.
Yeah, and she, you look at what she did. She won the championship in the sectional, so
Yeah.
she was sectional champion. She was regional champion, and she lost in the final, runner-up at semi-state.
Yeah.
Lost in the final. Really a tremendous run for her. Over 50 victories. I think she was like 51-2, 52-2, something like that. That's a lot of W's there.
Yeah.
And so congratulations to her. We have a little bit of, now, it was in Evansville this year. Not many
Yeah.
people can make it to Evansville. It's a long ways away. But we got a little video of her in her match. She did lose in the first round. But I'll tell you, watch this video. She hung in there to the end. So, Kayla, let's go ahead and put that on so people can see it.
Next, we got Mason Gels of Avon, sophomore, 36-5, wrestling Heather Kroll from Northeastern, 51-1. Kroll looking to make the podium for the first time. Trying to make some history today. There's 2 girls in this weight class today, Juliana Ocampo and Heather Kroll. Both wrestlers with solid records on the season.
Gels hard on that low single, trying to get in. It's not given. Comes out the back, onto his feet with the single.
Nice trip for a takedown.
Cross face from Gels. He's doing a good job of getting that cross wrist and then using it so he can go to his
He's
cross
got
face
a
from it.
cradle locked in, wasn't able to get anything off of it. Kroll trying to creep, trying to get something going with 13 seconds left in the period. She could get the reversal, maybe even escape.
She's smart, gets the one, guarantees herself some points. There's that cross wrist. Trying to get a Turk.
Nice crossface, looking to try to get a tilt off of that.
No near fall yet. He's working it over.
He's keeping that leg elevated.
Yeah, Cole's doing a good job of holding on to that leg and not letting her body give up the 45-degree angle. A lot of time on top right now. In good position and holding for the stalemate. Kroll right in, trying to go find her offense.
Oh, deep single. Gels with a quick low single to get the takedown. Up 7-1.
Campo for the turn.
10 seconds left. He's probably keeping it safe.
Yes,
Wanting to
no
just move
tilts.
on. He's up 7-1, nothing fancy. As time ticks away, it looks like Gels will be moving on against Jensen Boyd in the quarterfinals. Tremendous effort by Heather Kroll getting here again. 2-time state qualifier at this point. She's a junior. You know, hopefully.
Well, you know, like you said, Heather has had a year that probably 99.9% of the people wish they had.
Yeah, oh, she did great just to make it that far as an honor.
Yeah.
And she was trying to make it to the next round where you get on the podium, so to speak. But, you know, she's going to be a senior next year, so she's going to have another year. But congratulations, Heather. You had a tremendous year, and her season's not over.
No.
She'll do her things, whatever she does.
Yep.
I don't know if they take a break, but she'll go ahead and continue on. I got some interesting tidbits I want to share about
okay.
wrestling to wrap up. Peyton Shutley, if I'm pronouncing his name right, from Roncalli, he beat Heather in the finals of the semi-state.
Mhm.
He actually won the state championship.
Oh, wow. Well, if you're going to get beat, might as well get beat
Yeah,
by
yeah.
he who wins.
Right, and Noah Weaver from Rossville beat Caleb Cohey in the semi-state. He won the state championship.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of competition in that semi-state. That the Knights were in. These guys went on to win in the state finals. So congratulations to all the wrestlers and everybody who made it through sectionals, regionals, semi-state. It was really great, and it's a lot of fun, and we'll be back next year. I'm sure we'll be covering a lot of this stuff. All right, we got one more set of commercials, Derry, and then we'll come back and wrap it up.
Wrap her up. All right, let's go to commercials. You're watching Knightline Live. Martin's Country Mart, US 27, Fountain City. Swing in and grab a coffee or a frazzle. Maybe a fountain drink at Martin's Country Mart. We also have all your favorite snacks, bottled drinks, and of course, sweet bakery items. Plenty of accessories for dinner. And don't forget the grill menu, covering breakfast, lunch, dinner, and of course, the kids' favorite, pizza. Martin's Country Mart, Fountain City. You've had a hard day at work, and all you want to do is sit in your lounge chair in the nice cool air? Then it hits. The AC's not working. The living room feels like the Sahara Desert. Call Reynolds Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. In just a short time, it'll be nice and cool. And then all you'll need is a sign that says, "No penguins allowed." Call 765-966-0994. Reynolds Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Proud sponsors of the Knights. Did someone say boom, baby? Call Scaretti Pyrotechnics at 765-977-2757. Scaretti Pyrotechnics has performances for birthdays, weddings, school athletic events, other occasions, and of course, the 4th of July. Scaretti Pyrotechnics are proud supporters of Knights Athletics. Boom, baby! Smith, McQuiston, and Webster Funeral Home has proudly served the Fountain City area since 1886. From the time you walk up the steps, Funeral Director Keith Webster's goal is to carry forward the legacy of personal service established by the Smith and McQuiston families. Using modern technology and good old-fashioned attention to detail, we will strive to earn your confidence in us by treating families the way we think we would want to be treated. Smith, McQuiston, Webster Funeral Home. Rick, thank goodness somebody called time out because I am hungry.
I'm starved, Jerry. Hey, with 3 different Richmond locations and 1 in Hagerstown, there's a Subway sandwich shop near you.
And you can always order off the app for curbside pickup. The drive-thru's always open, and the way that I prefer it, I just like to walk in.
Here's your sub.
Listen, Subway, eat fresh.
Go Knights!
Welcome back to Knightline Live, brought to you by Astro Industries. Rick, I tell you what, we are winding down fast for a little bit, and maybe we'll be able to get, maybe Dave Baker will come on next week. We'll talk a little baseball.
Well, Dave, if you're watching right now, there's the play right there. We'll be calling you. See if you can come on.
Expect a phone call
because baseball's not that far away. Actually, they've been working out.
They've been working
a
out
couple times a week, and
I tell you what, I've seen some of the workouts. I think they might be surprising to some people.
Well, last year they had a good year. They were very competitive. So we'll see.
Yep.
Baseball's a funny sport sometimes, as far as
pitching.
It's all about pitching. It's probably, in my estimation, for high school kids, I think baseball's the toughest sport.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's coming up. So we'll see if we can get Dave on here to talk about what the Knights got going on in baseball this year. Just remind everybody, tomorrow night the Knights travel to Connorsville in that annual 2A, 3A clash. Hopefully we can get a win out of Connorsville next tomorrow night for this year. a great place to play in the Spartan Bowl. It's always fun to play in venues like that. So come on down to Connersville. The next week's sectionals Tuesday night at what time, Jerry?
Tuesday night, 7 o'clock, and that's Shenandoah, Knightstown.
Yeah.
And get to the gym. I know we may not be playing, but you can get to the gym.
Do a little scouting.
And if you can't, then we'll have it on the air. Rick and myself will be on the air.
Yeah,
and that we'll be on about 6:45,
roughly,
something like that. And then Friday night, it's Union County and Hagerstown in the first game, and we'll be on the air probably 5:45. It'll be you and Dan Harney from the Western Wayne News, and then the nightcap is finally the Knights will play the winner of Shenandoah and Knightstown.
Yeah, so we'll see. These games could be tight, Jerry. I mean,
could be.
I don't think anybody's going to walk to the championship like in the girls sectional where it ended up being blowouts. I would not be surprised if we have some tight ball games here.
Wow.
And so, at any point in time, you could have Shenandoah step up.
Yep.
Union County, we saw how good they were, how much improved they are from last year. So any one of those teams could step up. So really, the Knights got to have their A game, and they got to bring it with everything, just like we talked to Brent tonight. They got to bring their A game. So, hey, it's a great time of year, Jerry.
It's a wonderful time of the year, and guaranteed not the snow.
Yeah, let's hope.
You've heard it here first, Jerry's Almanac.
Yeah, we got our snow already, so that was enough. I think we're done, Jerry. I think we're done. Hour in the books, in the can, as they say.
In the can. So, well, for Rick Fletcher, I'm Jerry Middleton, and also for Kayla Hersey, it's been another good night.